So I want to shift the conversation a little bit towards something that's really dear to my heart, and the main reason why I do communication skills and teach people communication skills, and that is connection. Really, everything I do is because I value connection, and I want to help other people connect. And when I notice that people aren't doing that, my soul dies a little bit. And so every day I'm really focused on, okay, how can I get these people to connect better? How can I connect with people better? And so what came up for me when I was thinking about talking with you is that, since COVID, a significant portion of the workforce has gone online. And so we have like this remote workforce. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I think I was doing a little bit of research, and I think it's something like 14% of the workforce, and I don't know if that's global or US, I'm not sure, is fully remote. Yeah. And then there's maybe it's like 30% is partially remote or something. But, big picture, a lot of us are working from home. A lot of teams are working remotely. Yeah. And that's really impacted the way we do work significantly. So questions I have for you are, first of all, like big picture, why does connection matter in the workplace? We'll just start there.
Okay. I think that connection matters because it's the only way to build trust, I think. So we have to be connected like human to human. I do believe that but when we work not like our working style or our working approaches are not only about tasks or deadlines or commitments, but also about our mutual understanding, sense of belonging, supporting each other, and lots of such things. That is why from the high level perspective, I think it's about building trust. And it's very important if you want to work in a team. So I do not believe in a teamwork without trust. So in this case, it is not a team, it's like a group of people, for example. Right. And when people are connected, they can build trust, they can rely on each other, they can feel each other, they can provide empathy, they can provide open feedbacks and so on. And it helps them to get amazing results.
Yeah. I work with a lot of remote teams. I work with all remote teams. And for example, a company of 30 people, and I'll work with the whole team, and then I'll work with individuals on the team. And what I've noticed is that when I'm a fly on the wall in meetings, I've noticed that most of these companies, they totally skip the connection piece at the beginning, and they go right into, okay, here's the agenda, here's what we need to get accomplished today. And when I've asked leaders at these companies about that, I say, hey, connection is super important. I've noticed that you're not doing that at the beginning of your meetings. And the answer that I almost always get is like, well, we don't have time for that.
I was also thinking about this popular answer. We have no time. Yeah, we have no time. And they have no time, and it's true because they're overwhelmed usually with their tasks and so on. But I think also the problem is that they do not value this part. They do not understand the purpose and why they need, or what would be the added value, or even just the value of this. That is why I think they do not devote their time and energy and efforts for small talks or for some check-ins at the beginning, or some emotional part and talks with their people. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And what would you say, because one of the things that I always say is I push back and say, well, if you're not connecting at the beginning, then you're going to waste time later because you're going to have issues that arise because you're not connected.
Yeah, it's true, because it's much more complicated to deliver your messages, to negotiate, and to agree on something even. Yeah, sure. And by the way, we let's take the easiest tool that we have, not tool but approach, to have these cameras on.
Oh yes, right, cameras
And
on.
lots of remote teams, they do not use this rule.
I can't even imagine.
even this simple thing they do not value at all.
Right.
And for me personally, I cannot even imagine, I cannot understand how can they impact each other without cameras. It's impossible.
Yeah. It's.
What do you think about this?
Oh, 100%. I mean, one of the first workshops I ever taught to a company, that was the first thing that I taught.
Yeah.
Because people showed up to the workshop and their cameras were off, and I was like, hey, lesson number 1, like let's connect, let's turn on our cameras. And it seems so basic.
Yeah, but in real life it seems so basic for us, but in real life it is too complicated to implement this culture of cameras and of this connection in companies. And
why is it complicated?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. First of all, of course, COVID has impacted a lot, so people started to be more reserved, more, I don't know, maybe less trustful, less open. They have lost their soft skills, and so they do not feel comfortable and relaxing. And on the one hand, it's because of this, but on the other hand, I think they do not value, and companies or leaders of these companies, they do not want to nurture this culture of human-to-human connection, of psychological safety, of this teamwork, and so on. So lots of leaders, they do not invest their time in building this culture.
And do you think they don't want to invest in that because they don't see the value? Because it would seem to me like, if you understood the value of creating that culture of connection and positivity and empathy and all these things, if you saw the data on that, then you would want to invest in it. So why do you think that they don't want to, or is it that not that they don't want to, but they just, again, it's like, well, we don't have time to focus on that.
Like
We've got to focus on our KPIs or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like this. They don't have time because they want to get their profits and so on. And so they are more engaged into urgent tasks than important ones. And that is why they're missing their opportunities. But on the other hand, I think they do not have skills. I think that lots of leaders, they are immature in their leadership skills. And that is why they, for example, if we're talking about connection, your topic, for example, in most cases, it is very hard for them to deliver inspiring message, for example, about cameras. And when we are discussing this, I'm telling that, look, it's not only once you have to do it. It's like regular communication,
for sure,
to remind, to inspire, to engage, and maybe in some months of such regular communication from different perspectives, you can achieve this goal that your team will take this rule and everything will be okay. And for them, regular communication, so almost every meeting to deliver this very message, and they do not have skills. They do not know how to change their messages in order for them to be interesting, how to be inspiring, how to be clear and motivating. They do not have these skills. And so again, in order to obtain these skills, they have to practice, and it's hard work and so on and so forth. So for them, it's easier to say, oh, I have no time. I understand that it's important. So again, it's their own responsibility. If leaders have this motivation to develop their skills, of course they do. They try to find ways. They go to trainings. They prepare themselves for these meetings. Lots of them, they do not prepare. Even,
Yes, I know.
I know. You know this.
I know. Yeah.
I do believe that trust starts from getting to know each other better. So if people know each other better, not only from professional but from personal perspective, it helps them, it makes it easier to feel safer, because I know you, so I feel safer.
Yeah.
I can rely because I know you, because
like I know how you're going to respond to
something. Or I know something about you, and
Right.
we have something in common, so it could be in different ways. And so what I'm doing, if I have short time, I'm just providing these connection exercises at the beginning or in the middle of the session or at the end. For example, people can share. For example, I love the question, what was the way, or could you share your experience, how you earned your first money? Tell us.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
And
you mean like your first job?
Yeah, it could not be a job. It could be some experience. So, but money,
right.
for example. And lots of guys are telling stories when I was 14, when I was 16. So it was not a job.
It's
it was
not career related.
Yes. It was some kind of entrepreneurship attempt or some kind of funny story.
Yeah.
Or, for example, I love the exercise. It is also, this one is very popular. For example, everybody is writing 3 facts about himself or herself, but 2 of them are truth, true, and one's
a lie.
Wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'm articulating, and then everybody tries to guess. Discussing.
I've done this before.
And usually, it helps. It's not so long, but it's really funny, and people are sharing different areas, personal, not personal, childhood, or I don't know, adults. And so, it's amazing. And so if to provide such exercises, small ones, but on a regular basis, people start to get to know each other better, and for them it is easier to discuss, to agree, to argue, to I don't know,
to have a laugh.
To have a laugh together. It's
totally
true.
I use that same exercise when I was teaching listening skills, because that's another thing, like with connection, if people don't know how to listen, then they're not going to connect. And that's one thing that I see all the time too, is like blah, 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 blah. Like I know how to talk really well, but communication skills are also made up of listening. And as a matter of fact, 55% of all communication skills are actually just listening, not saying anything.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I was brought into this team, and it was clear that they had a problem listening to each other. So I did that same activity, put them in pairs, 2 truths and a lie. And the person had to listen and then repeat what they said. Like, okay, the first thing you said was this, the second thing, the third thing, and then the one that I think is a lie is this one. And it was...
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and I did the feedback after. I was like, okay, how is that for you guys? And I think the CEO was like, it's really hard to listen.
Yeah. And I also like the message that I'm providing for my leaders. I'm telling them when we are talking about one-on-ones or even meetings or some kind of interaction with their employees or team members, I'm telling them such a message that, look, guys, it's not your show.
Yeah. Exactly.
Leadership is not your show.
Oh my God. Oh,
like listen,
saying
ask.
The gospel.
Yeah. But it's difficult for them, I understand, because again, I understand why it is, because like they're overwhelmed with the desire to be successful with the performance metrics or profits or something, and they do not want to take too much risks, and that is why they want to provide messages, they want to tell, and I understand this part. But on the other hand, if they do in such a way, it is impossible for people to grow around them, and this is I think this is the biggest problem in companies, that leaders grow, but employees grow very slowly.
So what you said is, leadership it's not your show.
Yes, it's not your show.
So what is it?
It's about to grow others. It's about to help your team members to become a team, to work as a team, because it's also an art. It's also about deep things. And of course be result oriented towards goals or vision that you are providing or we are providing, because I do believe that businesses go to participative mode of interaction. What it means that of course you are a leader and of course you're responsible for the strategy, for the goals and so on, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it on your own. So participative, so you should engage. So don't sit alone and think about your goals or your, I don't know, some problems. Go to the team, provide all these team meetings, ask people, engage them. They are smart. I do believe people are smart. They want to make their input. They want to think with you. They want to impact the solutions. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to take all their ideas and to implement. No. But this energy of teamwork, engaging, communication, again, because it's about discussions, coming to agreement, questioning. I think that this is the only way to generate the most successful solutions or ideas. Because this is like collective brains. It's not about you that you are seeing.
I mean, I have a lot of great ideas, but I also know that when I work with other people, we have better ideas.
Better ideas, because we're combining.
Exactly.
We are combining.